Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another Real Review. Once again, I am your host, Matt Thomas, and today's Real Review is none other than the Jordan Peele-produced film, Him. Now, I feel like it's important to say Jordan Peele-produced because that's honestly going to be a big part of what my review is about. Listen, we all love Get Out. Most people love Up. A lot of people love Nope. I personally think it might be the best of the three. That's just me. But Jordan Peele has made this name for himself in the world of horror, and you can only imagine that whenever he puts his name on a horror project, it's going to be gold, right? Well, here's the thing. It's his horror films that he directs that seem to be gold. At the end of the day, Him suffers from a lot of the same issues that other films produced by Peele do when it comes to quality. You look at films like Monkey Man, produced by Jordan Peele. You look at films like Candyman, which I personally love, but I understand where its issues come from. And then you also look at a show like Lovecraft Country, which overall had fairly solid quality, but towards the end had a bit of a fall off. It seems to be that unless Jordan and now with him, I should say, it seems to be that unless Jordan Peele is the director behind these horror-based genre projects, that there is going to always end up being, in some way, a shortcoming for what could be an amazing product. And that is the case with him. I did not know what to expect going into this movie. I had seen the newest trailer like once, saw the other trailer in theaters all the time like everyone else. I didn't do reactions for it here. But when I saw executive produce or from producer Jordan Peele, I was like, listen, I love Candyman, but when I go in my head of filmography that Jordan Peele's produced and not directed, it's not been the most even product. And unfortunately, that caused worry for me, and that worry seemed to ring true. Let me put this out of the way right up front. Marlon Wayans, one of the best performances you will ever see from that man. Granted, if you didn't know that guy had dramatic chops at all, go watch Bel-Air, the show on Peacock. He does a fantastic job as Will's biological father, Lou, in that show. And that, being a younger man, opened my eyes to the dramatic side of Marlon Wayans. But Tyriq Withers, who was made famous based off of the one episode of Atlanta he's in season 3, where he plays a mixed boy who's somewhat white passing, and it's like a episode of The Twilight Zone. Go watch that. It's a great introduction into who that young man is as an actor. I wanted so much for him to work out for me, but it ultimately just didn't. There's a lot of great ideas that cover what athletes put themselves through and go through to be the best that there is when it comes to sports, and the mental stress and physical stress / damage that they put on themselves in the process. It could have had some really great commentary on that. But unfortunately, due to a ton of half-baked ideas, we don't get that. And we're left putting together pieces of a sloppily made puzzle that ultimately all the pieces don't quite fit towards the end. But I'll say this, the ending, how things play out, and the end result, the ending sequence was the best part of this movie outside of Marlon Wayans. It is fun, it is bloody, and it is interesting. But you end up covering things like parental trauma and what your parents will ultimately end up doing to get you to where they think you can be. Just so many interesting ideas that, again, that just come across so half-baked that you can't help but be kind of disappointed leaving the film. And it was one of those things where I was just like, just it's the exact opposite of Big Beautiful Journey for me. You can check out that review on the channel. Where I'm watching this film and I'm going, really just not vibing with it. Does this feel like a mess? And I feel vindicated because seemingly I'm not the only person who feels that this is a mess based off of talking to people after other critics and people after the screening. It sucks because you want to see films like this in a time like we are in today with two amazing black leads succeed. But ultimately, him is just, it's not great. It's not good, but it's not bad. It just unfortunately lives in that ether that is, it just exists. So if I'm giving him a rating, it's 2.5 out of 5 reels. It is absolutely forgettable outside of that Marlon Wayans performance. It is absolutely half-baked. And it honestly may not even be worth the time to see in theaters, and maybe one of the few films I say, wait till it hits streaming. But those are my thoughts on him. You can go check out my thoughts on A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which also comes out this weekend on my review for that. And check out our sister channel, What Real Gaming, where all of our Twitch streams go to live after the fact. Taylor just did a fantastic wrestling stream this past Tuesday, and you can go watch the playback of it on that channel. But also follow us on twitch.tv/WhatRealent, like up there in the top corner, and check out those streams live. Taylor will be doing a wrestling stream this Sunday, and he'll be streaming throughout the rest of the week as he does, or tonight and other days throughout the week as he does every week. So you can go check those out. But until then, folks, signing off, I am Matt. This was another Real Review, and we'll see you next time.